To everybody. BAIF was started by a Gandhian called Dr. Manibhai Desai. His focus was providing sustainable livelihood to rural people. In the 67, he realized that almost 75% of the farmers, landholders, have less than 2 hectares of land, most of them without irrigation. So dealing with agriculture means they will not be able to adopt any modern technologies. So he decided to go through animal husbandry route because people generally do not have good land. They have some animals for their livelihood support. And during that time, the milk was in such shortage that we were importing milk powder and distributing through the dairies. So we decided that we should go through livestock development, particularly cattle development. The opportunity was huge because our cows were giving only about 200 liters per year, whereas there was opportunity to go up to 5,000 liters. Then we adopted the technology. We trained the local boys, high school dropouts, to provide the breeding services, and we got some support from industries and the planning commission to extend our services. That was a time when we had to go to farmer and say that, if you want to give a message to take our service, we'll give you 2 rupees, because people were not believing in technology. We had to pay him 2 rupees plus provide free service. But gradually, after showing the results, we were able to demonstrate today that with 3 cows, a family will be able to earn about 35,000 rupees in a year. That's well above the poverty line. Animals also provide manure for agriculture, bullocks for agriculture, then also provide gainful employment, nutrition for the children and women. However, while going through the cattle, we also realized cattle alone will not be held by everybody, so we had to feed better quality fodder. So we introduced tree fodder because India had fodder shortage, we had also food shortage, so we could not have afford to devote good quality land for fodder. So we invented or introduced subabul, the Hawaiian giant, to this country, which would grow like tree and grow on bad land, barren land, and use it as fodder. So that was a great success in the late 70s, because it was people called it miracle tree. Then we realized that if you want to improve the productivity of subabul, you need to have watershed development. So we introduced watershed development as part of the agricultural development. Then with subabul, we shifted over to horticulture because many farmers felt instead of having a tree with fodder and fuel, it's better to go for trees with fruits, so that without cutting the tree, you should be able to get more money every year. Manibhai always said that farmer has great wisdom. You have to listen to them and try to adopt. This is a case where he came into tree-based farming because of the intervention of the farmer. Finally, while doing these things, we also realized that women play a major role. 70% of the labor comes from women. Unless you involve them, you will not be able to be successful. If you want to involve the women, we had to address 2 important things. The drudgery reduction, hardship. Women are suffering from ill health, children are suffering from ill health. From morning to evening, the women are busy, but if you ask the child as to what your mother does, child simply says nothing, because the value for the work she's done is trivial. So we need to really empower the women and finally come to a conclusion that the basic thing is, if you want to improve the quality of, if you want to improve the development, it should be quality of life, not only money. And that is through livelihood, health, education, and good moral values. That's also very important. Manibhai has been always quoting, you promote sugarcane, people have no work, they will have a lot of money to do, the young youth will become idle, you will spend more money in the bars and money and time in the bar rather than the field. So it's important to have these 4 development program. In Sanskrit we call Anna, Akshar, Arogya, and Acharan. 4 A's make the livelihood. However, when going to the community, we also realize that the biggest problem in the country is, we go with top to bottom approach. We go with a program and try to search who will be suitable. What we believe is we should have a doctor-patient relation even in agriculture. Like the doctor doesn't give the pills before seeing the patient. We do it regularly in agriculture. Without asking the farmer, we would like to promote something what we know. So what we believe, what we have learned in BAIF is that understand what the farmer's needs are and give them the right prescription. So you go with basket of programs and give them right thing, maybe a suitable entry point and cover entire holistic program. With that, we were able to do. Third thing we did was we were dependent on the government. Slowly, once the cattle development, started picking up, we started collecting money from the farmer. Today, the farmer whom we were giving 2 rupees, he gives 100 rupees per insemination. As a result, the quality of service improved. When the farmer gives money, he has demand, he has the kind of power to ask for a better quality service. We were able to provide, so we are obliged. As a result, today we have 4,000 cattle breeding centers covering almost 60,000 villages spread over 16 states, to the extent that we were deciding that we should not go to progressive states like Punjab. But last 3 years we have been in Punjab. We started with 100 cattle breeding centers in 1,500 villages. Today they want us to start 1,000 centers because that is his service. Probably the message is you need to get into free service to a kind of paid service where farmer it becomes partner. So this is the important thing, but also the most important learning. There are 2 or 3 key factors which we need to address. One, the women plays the most important role. We need to empower the women. Today government has a lot of money for the development. In the name of poor, 12th plan, we will be spending 4 lakh crores. So what is important is empower them to understand where the money is, how to get the money. Second thing is the important thing, children. 50% of the children today malnourished. If these children are malnourished, how do you go to the education? So we need to really, I'm thinking in the BAIF, as to can we go through school-centric development, take the school as base, come back to the parents and see how we can help them. So another thing is, make sure that you have good market, you have people's organization. Farmers have a kind of tendency that everything should be done by the government. Nobody will do, we have to stand on their own. These are the 3 important messages with which we are progressing further.